So this question is from Andy in Pittsburgh, who sent a video, which we have just reviewed, regarding his Fox pool setup and the claim that there's no backfill needed under the patio and the step, and there's a crack in the top of the step, which Andy has taken several measures to try to remediate and is not successful. He realizes your first advice is replace the step, but it seems that he is trying to do anything to avoid having to do that. So your opinion on some of the questions that Andy has presented in the video.
So Andy, thank you for the comprehensive video that you put together. I appreciate that. There's some really simple answers to this, and I get why Fox Pool is being a little bit weird about it and this whole thermal whatever. I'm going to call straight up bullshit on that. That yes, when you backfill a pool, it settles. You have to have the backfill all the way up to be able to pour the concrete, and then it settles. And granted that X-bracing, while they call their exclusive X-bracing, every pool has a type of bracing like that, is designed to take the weight of the patio and transfer it down to the footing and support the patio. So if the backfill settles, the patio doesn't fall down. That is not by design. And anything that I've ever heard in 36 years of doing it myself, having seen it, having broken holes to repair plumbing and looking all the way down a wall with a gap like you're saying 8 to 10 inches, I get it. To me, that's not an ideal situation. And I don't care if it's freeze thaw, whatever, the excuses, thermal expansion. To me, again, horseshit. If it was done properly and backfilled properly and filled properly, that sand should be right at the level and supporting the patio. Having said that, is it okay if there's that gap around the pool? Yes. Doesn't particularly harm as long as the company built the pool, put the deck bracing and the supports in. That makes a big difference. Although them wanting that to be like that, to me, is complete garbage. Let's go to your step. You can put any type of surface over the top of that you possibly want to try to slather on to stop this thing from leaking. But if that step can flex, that step is going to leak. So if you can't replace it, I get it. You absolutely have to support the underside of that step. I don't care what Fox Pool says about let it flex and let it whatever. I completely disagree. Completely disagree. What I would do, my suggestion would be, it's going to take a little effort, but cut out a foot of concrete behind the step. Give yourself a little room to work. Take a saw. If you have a circular saw, get a concrete blade that you could put on it and cut a line and bust that part of the concrete out and start shoveling sand underneath there. Use a garden hose, wash it down, flush it, fill it until it's full. If you want to use pea stone, use pea stone. If you want to use concrete. Maybe you fill in partway first with sand, then you do bags of concrete. But you need to pack that step solid underneath so that once you do the patch on top, it can't flex. Because I don't care what product someone tells you to put over the top of that crack. Granted, you drilled at each end, arresting the crack, absolutely the right thing to do. But if that thing was supported up as strong as it could possibly be, literally a bead of silicone would keep that step from leaking. So my recommendation, as the cheap and easy, it's going to be a pain in the butt, promise you that, but cheap and easy would be cut about a foot of concrete out, break it out, pull it out, pack underneath that step. If you can do all bags of quickcrete concrete, even dump them in there dry and hand kick them and pack them in there, they will harden up. If you get that step firm and strong enough, like I said, then Once that's all set up, literally a bead of silicone right over the top of that crack will keep it from leaking. Fill the rest of it up, mix up some bags of Quikrete, and make a patch to patch that section. That's how I would do it. That'd be the down and dirty and quick way. You could get all fancy dancy, and I can tell you from years of experience, I've got up underneath there and tried to fiberglass from the underside. I've done everything that you could imagine trying to do. To me, make it strong underneath. Don't worry about it flexing over time. If there's a good footing underneath there and you get concrete on top of that footing and you pack those steps all the way, they're not going to move. They're not going to be a problem, and I think you'll be just fine. But don't buy into that. To me, that's Fox Pools making an excuse for why their product is doing what it's doing. That's my opinion, but I think if you do what I say to do, you'll be really happy with the results.